Welcome to this amazing webinar that we are having today, where we are focusing on the Blockathon that is happening in Stockholm in 3 weeks from now. But we are then also organizing three events, virtual events, as a runner-up to that in-person event. And we are moderating this session today, Zarina and myself. Hi, Zarina.
Hi, Morten.
Yeah, and this is interesting because, for the last couple of years, maybe very many people have been moving into digital assets and virtual assets and whatever you call them. And the interest hasn't been that much on the blockchain for other type of purposes. So what do you think about that then, Zarina?
I think we need to see the broader picture here because blockchain can be used for so many real-world cases and real-world challenges that we have today. And this is exactly what the first Blockathon is about, to show that this technology, blockchain, can be used for so much more than only finance. So I'm really excited to talk more about the guests today.
Yes, and we will then also have some help because we have today three people that are involved and engaged in the organization of these, what is happening during the week. There is the Blockathon as its own event. We will then talk with Fatih Hakim. And this is also part of the Nordic Tech Week. So we will also talk with Ludwig from Nordic Tech Week. And there's also an event on the Friday, which then will be talking with Hani, because that's also then an AI summit. So there are lots of things happening. And we will also then talk to three of the people that has been involved in creating problem statements that the developers are supposed to solve. And again, this is the first of several events. So you just have to follow us, and then you can understand more of what is happening, but also for the developers after some time to be prepared. Do you have anything to add so far, Zarina?
Thank you, Morten. And of course, I want to say a very warm welcome from me as well. As Morten mentioned, we have amazing guests. You see them on the slide. There are also many sponsors and supporters behind this first Blockathon. So we, of course, want to mention them as well. FirstBlock, Solis, Neuro, and Blockcell are our key sponsors. And then we also have ecosystem partners for this event. And I mean, as Morten mentioned, this is to look at blockchain beyond finance and how it can have real world impact. And many of the challenges that we will discuss today will connect directly to this first Blockathon. So with that, I will hand it over to you, Morten, to take us into our first conversation.
Thank you, Zarina. And then we will add to the stage Fatih Hakim. Welcome, Fatih. Do you have sound?
I'm muted. Okay.
Yeah, now we can listen to you.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Thank you, Morten and Kaupr, for hosting this event. I think it's a very important one before the main event happening. So thanks for that.
Yes, and then we have to start asking you. You are a known person in not only in Sweden but in several countries about being a developer, being interested in Web3 and the blockchain space, and you're also the founder of FirstBlock. But where did you get this idea of a Blockathon from, and why is it important?
And starting with my own career, I would say I'm not coming from coding, or I'm not a builder in that sense, but more like looking at the industry itself. I started my career in blockchain by basically, like a lot of other people, investing in crypto myself. 2014 was the first time. I was in New York visiting my cousin, and then his best friend who was mining Bitcoin was explaining it to me. And back then I already remember that the technology behind crypto or behind Bitcoin was more interesting to me than just the value that Bitcoin was bringing with it. Obviously, we know what happened later, and the gains that crypto involves. But something that was always stuck with me was back then when he was explaining me the whole technology in the background. He was talking about borderless, and this word was very important to me because of my own past, and this is how it just clicked with me when he was explaining. I came back to Europe. Back then I was living in Austria, in German-speaking countries. I was very involved in a lot of different crypto projects, but one main thing that was really not annoying me, but I wanted to go beyond that, was that everything was connected to ICO, IEO. When the idea started, nobody wanted to see beyond what really blockchain technology can do. After I think it was the first time 2017, I visited Stockholm to see, because Stockholm is known as the Silicon Valley of Europe, and then I wanted to see, okay, if the innovation is so far there, we know the biggest companies coming together there, if it's the Klarnas, the Spotifys, and so on, what is the state of blockchain there? To my shock, I realized it was not a lot happening. So I went back to Austria and worked still in the German-speaking countries. And then 2020, I came back to Sweden, finding out, okay, there are slowly the doors opening. People are seeing beyond the financial gains and the financial structures that blockchain can be used. And then that said, then we decided to start FirstBlock 2022 and look more into, okay, how can you bring blockchain into processes of Web2 companies and take them into Web3. Before that was also a time where people were talking a lot about digital ownership, because metaverse became a topic. Today we know it's not a big topic anymore. But what made the difference, or what is making the difference in today's tech world, I would say, is that AI is having a much bigger positioning in the mainstream that it had before, and then obviously the digital ownership conversation came up again, and then that is exactly the right timing where blockchain can come in and enable AI, or I would even put it a little bit differently, even control a little bit AI. We are talking here about when it comes to your own data that needs to be owned by yourself. So we don't end up giving our own identity away. We have dealt in the last years with deep fakes, if it was from political side, if it was from big corporate companies. We have dealt a lot about misinformation online in the war situations, or or manipulating bigger communities. And I think that blockchain itself can be the layer of trust, can be the layer of control, I would say, so we don't completely end up believing everything that the AI is doing. So that said, seeing at this problem, or seeing at this increased use of AI in the mainstream, I started talking. I remember it was Honey. I started talking with Honey that we need something that we can showcase that blockchain can do so much to enable AI in that sector. And the word is not mine. Blockathon is basically coming from Honey at that point. I remember it was the first time I heard it from her. And she was telling me like, it would be great if we can do an event like that. And we were like, okay, how universe usually works, right? You say something and you're tracked. After that, I had a conversation with Ludwig, because last year I was myself talking on stage at Nordic Tech Week on stage with Klarna and Luna, talking about agentic payments. And Ludwig came to me and was saying like, oh, what do you think? Blockchain? Or actually before Ludwig, even it was Minna, who's the COO of Nordic Tech Week. She was telling me like, what do you think? And I was like, not a bad idea, but let's talk with Ludwig. And then when we spoke with Ludwig, he's a big believer in blockchain and the big believer of like that blockchain can enable a lot in AI. And one thing came to other, and then here we are today.
If we just try to understand what is the Blockathon week in large titles or whatever, because we will dig more into it during this event. But what are you supposed to do? What are developers supposed to do? Can other people be attending? Some questions around that.
Exactly, yes. So the Blockathon, I would say the Blockathon itself are the first 2 days. It's the 7th and the 8th of September when the Nordic Tech Week starts. It will be at the Netlight offices. Shout out to them for supporting us and giving us the possibility to do it there. It will be basically, we opened already our application platform. Everybody can, if they're a builder, if they are not a builder, have just an idea and so on, everybody can basically apply if they want to join us. The idea during the Blockathon is not just attracting builders, it's also what I and a lot of other people who are backing up this event saw in the past was that the best problem statements or the best ideas came out of the industries themselves. So that is why we wanted to do a really open event where we are inviting everybody to apply who has an idea from the industry itself or is a builder who wants to solve the problem. Yes, that will be the 2 days. The whole week, we will call it a blockchain track in that sense. We have then the 3 top ones demoing their solutions after the jury choosing the 3 top ones, demoing it then at Kungsträdgården, then at the main stage during the Nordic Tech Week on the Thursday. And then on Friday itself, we will have the award ceremony for the best solution. I would say that is basically the idea of the Blockathon itself. We have also other side events happening during the event from our ecosystem partners. AI Summit, as you already mentioned, is happening. The idea there is to not just talk about like, okay, now us builders are coming together, or the industry, our startups are coming together and building these solutions, but also like, okay, how can we bring academic views into that? Because has been a lot of research done in the past, and it seems like the research side and the startup side didn't really connect so far. And that is what we would like to do with the AI Summit and talk about the problems that also academic side sees when it comes to AI and blockchain itself. And as said, a lot of different side events. Please check out Nordic Tech Week's main calendar. All of them are there, and there will be more coming. We are slowly announcing the closer the week is getting, and looking forward to see you guys there.
That's amazing.
We will dig more into some of the problem statements later, but what is the challenges that you have defined, and what role does the problem statement play for the developers that are supposed to solve something?
Exactly. So when we were starting the Blockathon, as I said, we wanted to move away from just using blockchain for the finance for the finance industry, right? But some things that are also coming during these times we are talking about AI, and agentic payments are becoming a topic and so on. So we can't go away completely out of it. But what we wanted to put the whole event under, we wanted to put it under the umbrella of impact on future generations. Very often people connect impact with our environment and so on, which impact we have. But I believe that the technology from today has a huge impact on our future generations coming. If you think about Facebook, after Facebook coming, how our social worlds or our social interaction changed, that I 100% believe that AI will have a much more bigger effect on us. And that was the first idea. And then after that, obviously, as I said before, how can we use blockchain to enable AI in the right way? that we can also control it in that sense. That is why a lot of these problem statements that we are talking about, as you said, we will dive deeper into them later, but a lot of these problem statements that we are talking about are connected with both blockchain and AI. We have some big NGOs joining us because with their own problem statements, who are also dealing with probably fake deep fakes or fake news or so on. But starting with the agentic payments, where the verifying level should be on chain, that the human still has their hands in there. That is something we wanted to look at. We are looking at different AI applications that includes blockchain in the background, that we don't even know that we are using blockchain, but it should be the case. So we can still have the control. We have, as I mentioned before, identity is becoming more and more a topic in the AI industry. It's so easy to use your face, your voice, your likeness by now with AI, and we have a lot of people who are in that industry who are earning their money through that. So trying to solve this problem, how to make sure that this the people who are the people basically continue doing that without a third party coming in and taking away that role. And then we also have, as I mentioned before, in a lot of different countries where impact is happening today on through NGOs, if it's through vaccines or any other actions, to capture that impact and see how this impact is affecting the future. That is something we are looking into solving. And all these problem statements I'm saying, these are all wish problem statements. And obviously after that, we went out and we looked at who can be the best partner coming in and, as a problem statement, because they're facing the real problem. We are seeing it as external ones, but that they are facing the real problem and how we can solve it. And also something that is becoming more and more, that we are becoming more and more aware with in the AI era. It's so easy to hack. AI agents are by now like the best developers ever you can imagine. And obviously we have our communication platforms that, again, miscommunication can be easily done if it's hackable, not just deep fakes in that sense. We are also having identity, I mentioned. We are also having a lot of I would say facts in the history being manipulated and misused for people's interest. That is a problem statement that we would like to put out there. How can we take it on chain so we can verify it, that it's happening and or it happened, and then basically store it. Then we have the data storage of certain things that happened are happening there, where people can report it. I don't want to just say like in worse situations, but also like in other situations, there can be things happening where people are there and they can report it, and it can be on chain, stay on chain, and nobody or should not be able to change it. So we have it's verified that happened, when it happened, and how it happened. I'm just thinking more and more what else we are having, because as I said, it's so many great things are coming together. And also in the financial sector, right? The human should have the control, not just about their identity, but also about take accountability of AI agents being built. We had examples from US that people were working with different AI agents, and when something went sideways, they were just putting their hands up and saying like, "Oh, I'm not accountable for that because it was the AI agent." So who's taking the accountability in that sense? That needs to be verified and controlled as well. Okay, I don't know how many I already mentioned. Stay tuned, more to come, basically.
Yeah, and altogether there will be 7 or 8 of them, and we will hear more about 3 of them today. And it's from Swedish Red Cross, it's from UNICEF, and also from an influencer management. So it's real
Exactly.
world issues you guys. So just stay tuned. And in meanwhile, we'll also then hear about your partner in
Here he
this
is.
week. Welcome, Ludwig, from Nordic Tech Week.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Yes, and we have to hear first about Nordic Tech Week. What is it, and what is your mission, and what differentiate your way of doing things in the event space to other types of tech arenas?
Exactly. And I think to start with, the motivation why I started Nordic Tech Week is because I spent a lot of money when I started my first company, when I was a young entrepreneur. And so looking back, and I just calculated it a few months ago, that I spent more than half my student salary going to these tech conferences around the Nordics. And then being in the US for a while, it's more this paid forward mentality, and there's a more openness when it comes to being in the right room, and more free and open event kind of community spirit there. And so I moved back to Stockholm and said, okay, I want to start something that not only is free and open, but also take these different clusters and communities around the Nordic, but also specifically Stockholm, because we have amazing clusters such as the health tech industry, the fintech industry, the impact tech industry. But I've also noticed that these industries and sectors are working in silos and bubbles. And so I wanted a week where all of these tech curious people, enthusiast communities comes together for a full week and just celebrate the amazing ecosystem that we have. And I met Fatih 1 year ago, and we kind of brainstormed, and I met the blockchain community for a few times, and it's a small community here in the Nordics and huge, in the rest of the world. And so I thought it's really time that we kind of, make sure that the blockchain community as well is part of these commercialized tech spaces, because it's super important. And I think, for this year, we really want to have all these sectors, but especially this amazing technology called blockchain that we need to utilize more and more, especially here in the Nordics.
There's one question that I also would follow up with on this, and that is why this cooperation with the blockchain community, and what is supposed to happen, and why? Because in other type of tech arenas, it isn't happening.
Exactly. No, I honestly don't know why it's not happening. I have been fortunate enough to know Fatih for a while, so she kind of showed me the blockchain people and the space. And if you're not exposed, if you are still in your silo and bubble here in Stockholm, you're not really exposed to these different sectors and community that I spoke about. And there is an issue here in the Nordics that we don't often talk about blockchain, and it's not, involved in the more open spaces and as you mentioned, the other conferences. And I think it's time that we really include this technology, because even though we have high trust in our institutions and on a higher level, we need to bring in this technology because it can really unlock new opportunities. And if we mix, and this is why this blockchain hackathon or first Blockathon is so exciting, is because we mix, the fintech industry with the impact industry and blockchain. And I think that's where you actually innovate, open more spaces, let in more clusters and innovation hubs. And then just when people come together and discuss and look at the problems and then find a solution.
Yes, and we have some issues in between here, and but I think it works right now. And we have to also ask you, Fatih, what does this collaboration mean for you guys?
Actually, a lot, I would say. I don't think that the Nordic blockchain community got a stage like Nordic Tech Week, like it is today, or what we will be doing with that. I think that it has been very silo, how Ludwig is saying. Everybody stays very much in their own line. Blockchain has, or this is my point of view, that we never had the possibility to come on stage with all these other technologies and talk about like how blockchain can really enable and educate people, and also showcase not just like, okay, here crypto, but also like all the solutions that can be with blockchain. Myself, when as I mentioned before, when I started FirstBlock as a company, a lot of people just connected blockchain with crypto. And I think it has been like that, and it's still unfortunately like that in many places. And I think stages like Nordic Tech Week will just help us bring more and more different point of views, and then showcase as well, like, hey, it's not just money sent from A to B, but also so many other things that you can do with it.
So can this be the start of a future cooperation as well?
I am very sure about that.
No doubt.
No doubts on that. Yes.
Where
yes.
can I sign?
Yes, where can he sign? Exactly.
Yes.
No, I think that I think also through the great work of the team and so on, Nordic Tech Week is also saying how much value we are bringing, how blockchain community is also joining the Nordic Tech Week, and also how open and how open-minded we are, and also how much solutions or how much problems are there that needs to be solved, that involves blockchain, that needs to be on the stages with other problem and with other tech as well, if it's AI, health tech, and so on and so on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, then thank you very much, guys, so far, both to Ludwig and Fatih. And Fatih, you will also joining us somewhat later in the show. And good luck with the week, both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, then we will move to the next part of this session. And then we will, you can introduce it yourself, Zarina.
Yes, thank you, Morten, and thank you, Fatih and Ludwig as well. I mean, now we have heard more about the Nordic Tech Week. What is this blockathon called, First Blockathon? So let's look at one of the first focus areas, AI. I mean, you heard Fatih repeatedly mentioning that AI and blockchain can be combined. When AI creates challenges, blockchain can bring solutions. So with that, I'm very happy to welcome you, Hani, from the AI Institute. So glad you
Thank you very much.
Could you just briefly introduce yourself, your role at the AI Institute, and what is the AI Institute?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Morten and Zarina, for inviting me here. I'm honored and pleased to be a part of this amazing project. My name is Hani Helovic, and I'm the founder of our nonprofit AI Institute. What we do, how to say, you wanted to have a brief overview, so I'm going to keep it as brief as possibly can. The reason why we founded the AI Institute is to bring together the builders and the thinkers, especially during a time last year when I was thinking about this, was that shipping and building with AI was so cheap. So the bar was lowered so much. So somebody needed to take responsibility, because nobody did back then. And I'm not even sure if it's happening right now, but we're doing our part at the AI Institute to make, to shape intelligence responsibly, basically. So since we're a nonprofit, we're trying to bridge the thinkers and the builders. We're bridging academia and industry, policy and agile builders to move fast and actually fix things instead of breaking them. That's the norm in Silicon Valley, right? So our core purpose is to advance hybrid intelligence with a generational sustainability horizon. So we have a 7-generation principle we apply on everything we do. Ensuring that human agency, critical thinking, and cognitive sovereignty, most of all, remains central as autonomous technologies scale, basically.
Very important work you do. But also, I want to mention there is something exciting coming up on September 11th that is part of this Nordic Tech Week. I mean, you have now had 4 virtual AI summit sessions, and now this is the first in-person AI summit. Could you please tell us about what is happening and what can people expect from that?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had, just like I mentioned, 4 digital summits previously, and this is actually our first one that we are having at KTH Arenan in collaboration with the department at KTH that deals with tokenization and blockchain. So while the theme of our AI Summit is AI and blockchain bridging science and innovation for social impact, we try to, close up this Nordic Tech Week because we are just as connected with a Blockathon as well, where we bring together the use cases, the people who are building. So everything from AI, blockchain, and even quantum to make sure that we have a full circle. We have to bridge those areas to make the full and the most out of what is going on. So we start the day, it's a full day at KTH. It starts at 9 and ends at 5 p.m. for those who want to be early and go late. But the main activities occur between 9:30 until 2:30. After that, we head back to Kungsträdgården for the award ceremonies. So we'll have a couple of keynote speakers and 3 panels with people from vast, let's say, domains that are merging. This is still a merging field, right? So in order to really build responsibly and make sure that we show how AI and blockchain are connected to quantum even, we want to make people step out of their comfort zones and see the bigger picture, to zoom out, basically. So you'll see both builders, thinkers, and industry being represented on stage on Friday, September 11th. So make sure to sign up and not miss that.
Amazing. I mean, that's a great wrap up of the Nordic Tech Week. AI is coming on so strong, and as you're mentioning, it's an emerging field. We need to see how can we match different technology with that, and how can blockchain help. And in that sense, connecting back to our theme today, what challenges do you see around the use of AI, and where do you think blockchain can potentially help? Because you are also contributing with the problem statement to this Blockathon. So if you could tell us a little bit about the challenges and what do you actually hope the participants will explore?
The biggest challenges, I'm glad you mentioned that, the core AI challenges mainly would be the centralization and cognitive dependency we have on closed models, and also the lack of data provenance, verifiable truth, and intellectual property protection for human creators. That was one of the main issues when I started a year ago. So where blockchain steps in is it provides the decentralized immutable ledger, the ledger layer needed to anchor AI systems. So it's like verifying training data, managing cryptographic consent, and preventing epistemic drift. So what we did, we brought together many of our partners, and amongst them we have DSB, the Computer Science Department at Stockholm University, and also we've invited the KTH students, and it's open to everyone basically to apply and be part of the teams that are creating. This collaborative hackathon will also include students and a delegation from Nigeria. So they're coming all the way from Nigeria to be a part of this and contribute with their knowledge. What we have proposed, our problem statement is called the Alexandria Protocols. So we're challenging developers to build autonomous agents on-chain that embody the Alexandria Protocol. But it acts as a living architectural test for long-term knowledge, preservation, verifiable consent, and also IP provenance, meaning intellectual property, because people are creating, but where do you actually get the patent or the record where it says you were the one who created it? So, and most of all, the most important part and detail is that we also require the teams to add post-quantum cryptographic resilience. So these layers need to be added because whatever we do, anything we do and everything we do needs to think in a long-term, multi-generational horizon. I always mention 7-generation principles. So in order to really future-proof whatever we're building, it has to be with a long-term point of view on it. That's where the post-quantum cryptographic layers need to be added for future reference. And we'll talk more about those details, what it actually means. So how is quantum related to this? Those of you who are already in blockchain, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but those who are not, we will get to that and explain it pedagogically during another session and during the, the Blockathon and the AI Summit. More details on that will come up.
That's great. Thank you so much, Hanni. Looking forward to it. And as you mentioned, there are so many dimensions of this, how you work with AI. You need to find a way both to make the information secured, where you're talking about this cryptographic seal or lock, to say, if we are going to use more easy words. And also, how can we trust what is being built? It is so many things to think about and really exciting to deep dive into. But perfect. But the most challenging era is the centralization, and blockchain can help with decentralization. Thank you.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending, Hanni.
Thank you for having me. And guys, don't.
Thank you, Hanni, and welcome, Madina. So glad you can join us. Hi. We are now moving on to the second part and are looking more into some concrete industry challenges. I mean, this is a completely different world you are coming from, Madina. So excited to hear from you. You are from the creator and influencer industry. I'm very happy that you could make it. Could you briefly introduce yourself and your role at AMS?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Madina. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ames Management. We are basically a creator management based in Cologne, Germany. And together with my business partner, Ilya, I started the company in 2018, which was pretty much in the beginning of creator economy, influencer management, marketing on Instagram. Like before Instagram, there were like a lot of YouTube creators, but now it's like more focused on Instagram, on TikTok, also Spotify, podcast creators, whatever you name it. And so we manage around, I think it's 20 creators at the moment across Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And I think our total reach at the moment is about 10 million followers. And just like giving you a quick introduction about my background. So before I started my own company, I was working for serial TV production in Germany. And my last position was working as a creative producer at the digital marketing team of Disney. So everyone knows Disney probably. And so I've seen this industry from both sides. So from the production side, and at the moment, like since I'm running my own company, also from the talent artist side. And yeah, so this is what I'm doing. This is my background. And at the moment, we are also facing some issues regarding AI and deepfakes. And this is actually the reason why I'm here, why I'm ended up in this. And I'm so happy to be here.
Perfect. And we will dig more into that. You mentioned the challenges you have with deepfakes, etc. So, but could you tell us a little bit more, how does it work with AMS? I mean, the work you do, and I mean, why are you so interested in being here and this first Blockathon? So a little bit more setting the scene and background on the influencer market, because it's very far away from the blockchain world.
It is, yeah. Honestly, it's like it's a complete different industry, but of course. So I will give you an introduction. So basically, it's Ames Management. It's an artist management. So we are managing creators, and I would say also in like it's a 360-degree management. So we take care of all of it. So if you're like an influencer, you want to grow on Instagram, on social media, we support you. Like we will help you with a strategy to grow on Instagram, on TikTok. If you want to start a podcast, we will help you to find a creative concept for it. We will talk to Spotify to get your podcast into that. So this is like all the things which you need for the creator economy. This is where you can come to the management, to Ames Management, and we take care of you as an artist, as a creator, and make sure that you will be the best version of a creator, actually. And also, like the main business part from Aims management is like taking care of the campaigns. As an example, if you as a Sephora and you want to work with an influencer as an ambassador, you can reach out to the influencer, and then you will probably end up in a conversation with me because I'm the manager, and I will take care of the whole campaign. I will go into the negotiation with you. So you're asking me as a Sephora, hey, I want to book the creator as my face for the next campaign, and I would like to book a story on Instagram and also a Instagram reel in the feed, and this is the concept and all of it. And I will tell you like, okay, that's interesting. So this is the price at the end, and this is the part of the management. So I will take care that the influencer will get the fee out of it. And also there's like one special part of it when it comes to buyout. And buyout is super important because you book a campaign with the influencer, and you book actually as Sephora. So we keep the example of Sephora. You book the influencer for your campaign, and actually you book the influencer because of the reach and the face and the audience. So that's the moment where you book on this channel of the influencer. And if you are asking for a buyout, that means actually for us as a management, now it makes more fun working with you because we have already produced the content, and now you will buy the content for your socials, which means the content is already produced. We don't have to do anything else, but because of you using the face of the influencer, I can charge you up to 100% double the price on the regular fee, which is how it works. But this is also like a main, a pain point, because some brands, they just use the content from the influencer and just use it as an ad without asking us, without having extra budget for this. And sometimes you will, you scroll through Instagram and you will see the ad of the influencer on the page from the brand, and you're like, hey, wait, you didn't pay for this. So this is where also the management comes in it and says like, hey, we need to talk because I have to charge you.
Yeah. No, that is really setting the scene. It is, you're basically providing a full service or a package solution, both for influencers and the brands wanting to buy this time from an influencers. And you were on that topic before, but some of the challenges that your industry is facing at the moment, you are looking into solutions, and those solutions might include blockchain. Could you tell us a little bit more about those challenges you see and the potential use cases for blockchain in your industry?
Yeah, of course. So there was a situation like a while ago where I had a meeting with Fatih and her team. And, the thing is, she showed me like a brand idea with one of my creators. And she was like, hey, this is the campaign, this is the product, this is your influencer. And I was sitting in the meeting, and I saw the presentation of the product and my creator. And the thing is, I'm the manager. So basically, I know all of the footage of my creator. I see all the stories, I see all the reels and all of it online. And I saw like something which I never saw before. I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe I missed that part of the story. Maybe I missed that video on social media because I haven't seen my creator with that product so far. And that was the moment where Fatih told me like, no, we did that by our own with the pictures, with the content on social media. And I was pretty impressed because it was like, oh, wow, you did this with all the pictures on social media. Like, it looks so real. So I was pretty impressed. And after that, I was also a little bit surprised because I was asking her, like, what did you need for that? And she told me like just a bunch of pictures, like, I don't know, it was 20 or something, and a video, I don't know, I don't remember anymore. And then I was shocked, and I was like scared because I'm like, oh wait, here's something going on, and this is not okay. Because imagine like brands are doing this without you knowing about that. And I don't know, you're strolling through Japan and you see the ad of your influence and you have no idea, but this is like all deep fake AI things. And that was the moment where I was like, wait, maybe we need to find a solution for this, because as a manager, as a creator also, you have to secure your idea in the internet and on social media. So that was the moment where we start talking about that business, about that problem actually, because everyone is talking about AI creators, which is super interesting. Like all of our brands and clients are always asking us, hey, did you thought about AI creators from your influence and whatever? And this is actually pretty interesting to think about it, but you also have to see the other side, which is like, oh, it could be also a huge problem if your face is using for other platforms or campaigns.
That has been approved. Yes. I mean, deepfake, I understand. It's a real challenge, and also be able to prove ownership, as you mentioned, and verify what is true and what is not. And this is great. Thank you so much for Medina for being here, because this really sets the scene for developers that are going to be taking on this challenge in the hackathon. So thank you so much for being here and that we were able to hear from you. It's an important topic.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So trust and verification are clearly very important themes. It keeps repeating, and that actually gives us a very great bridge to move on to our next conversation with the Swedish Red Cross, because trust and verification is very important here as well. So I'm very happy to welcome Melanie from the Swedish Red Cross. Happy to have you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Very fun.
Great, so glad you can join. Could you briefly introduce yourself and your role at the Swedish Red Cross?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Melanie Rideout, and I am the AI strategist at the Swedish Red Cross. And what does that mean? So I'm part of a newly formed department that we started about a year ago, AI Innovation Digital Transformation. And it's my role to explore AI and the different connected technologies and how they can actually help us in our humanitarian mission. So essentially, how can we save more lives? I guess that's the fundamental part. But I think perhaps sometimes people get a bit confused when they think, what is the Red Cross? We have a pretty complex global structure, which I guess I can get into a little bit later.
Yes, please tell us a bit about that, because as you mentioned, you are with the Swedish Red Cross. So setting the scene a bit, could you explain how is the organization structure? Could you just introduce the Swedish Red Cross and what differs from the wider organization as the Red Cross, and maybe include the ICRC and the IFRC, and just give us the scene a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Swedish Red Cross is called a national society. So in every country in the world, we have actually more membership than the UN. We have 192 states that have what is called an auxiliary role. So auxiliary role is somewhere in between a non-profit charity and the government. So we, in different countries, play a role that helps the government give people access to health, trauma support, legal support. We do everything from, because we're a neutral, non-partisan, non-political organization, our role is to help people in need wherever that might be. So the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement, I should say, started in 1864. I believe, I might get that date slightly wrong, by our founder called Henry Dupont. And that was as a result of the Austro-Hungarian War, and seeing that there were thousands and thousands of injured soldiers and nobody there to help them. And this is where the Geneva Conventions, or the idea of the Geneva Conventions and international humanitarian law, was born, that even war should have rules. And so when people talk about war crimes, or when we talk about international war crimes, or things that shouldn't happen during war, when it comes to ensuring that even people who are prisoners of war get access to healthcare, or that we have a system to be able to reunify people that have been separated because of war and conflict. All of this is founded in the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement. And so we have the ICRC, that's the committee based in Geneva, and they're the ones who operate in active war and conflict. You have the IFRC, the Federation for the Red Cross, Red Crescent. They're also in Geneva, and they kind of keep all of the 192 national societies together. Swedish Red Cross is one of the oldest ones, and it was, historically heavily involved in everything from helping during World War II to bring out people who were being prosecuted by that government into safety, all the way through to today, having a special mandate from the Swedish government to help us ensure that we are ready for any active combat or war that may happen. Unfortunately, we are edging towards a more and more unstable world, and the role of the Red Cross in general to ensure that, one, we keep up international humanitarian law and the protection of civilians, but it's also about how do we handle the challenges of modern day warfare. So warfare isn't just active combat anymore. It's a lot of cybersecurity attacks. It's a lot of shutting down of really critical infrastructure. And actually, really interestingly, the ICRC, so the committee in Geneva, together with EPFL, so a Swiss technology university, has recently created a digital emblem, which is meant to remind attackers that even digital infrastructure to protect human lives and humanitarian lives, it is a war crime to attack digital infrastructure. And so the digital emblem, similar to what you can see in my green screen, the Red Cross and the Red Crescent, is meant to be a reminder that even in times of war, humanitarians should be protected and they cannot be killed when all you're trying to do is save lives.
Such an important job. And also thank you for explaining about the organization. I mean, you mentioned that there are a lot of challenges and also that the world is not looking the same. I mean, there are scary things going on at the moment. So, I mean, going from that, I know that the Swedish Red Cross is exploring blockchain solutions for these challenges, and you will also be part of forming a challenge for this Blockathon. So could you explain a little bit about some of the key challenges and trends you're seeing today, and what opportunities of blockchain use you are exploring or would like to explore during the hackathon?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are very nascent in our journey of exploring blockchain, and we, through our other partner organizations, Red Social Innovation is a combination of different national societies that have explored blockchain. Obviously, we are concerned about the environmental impact of blockchain, the fact that sometimes we do want information not to be stored forever. So maybe you don't. That there are some things about blockchain that we're still a bit like, oh, we need to explore this. But for the sake of this Blockathon and what we're looking at is primarily 3 different use cases, and really curious to hear what those listening to this talk might consider a best use case for us. So the first one is around migrants who move across borders. So we have quite a lot of migration that is happening now and will increasingly happen in the future, meaning hundreds of millions of people are expected to move due to war, natural disasters, and climate-driven emergency impacts. And when people move across borders, they still need to be able to have some type of continuity of service. Perhaps you're a young woman that is pregnant, and you need to be able to, as you're trying to move towards safety, still be able to have continuity and access to healthcare, access to medication, access to these, to money, to cash, to things that will allow you to live your life. And right now, there's no system in place for us to be able to have continuity of services between different humanitarian organizations and also within the Red Cross internationally. So some type of blockchain solution that allows someone who's moving from one place to another to be able to have continuity of service. Another example is crisis communication. So we actually have a blockchain solution called White Flag. So White Flag Protocol was started by the ICRC. And this is a blockchain-based technology that allows both sides of a conflict to be able to message securely and to inform others in the conflict that an attack is going to happen, for example, and where it might happen. So often when you hear of things saying people have been told that an attack will happen and they need to evacuate, a lot of that information is either coming through the Red Cross, or a lot of it is also coming through this white flag protocol. So putting that in a local kind of perspective, we have 18,000 volunteers here in Sweden. Of those, I'm not entirely sure of the exact number, but we have around 5 to 8,000 who work with crisis preparedness. So that might be a couple of summers ago in Stockholm, there was a bus that crashed into people because I think the bus driver had a heart attack or something like this. And even before the ambulance arrived, Red Cross volunteers arrived. And the reason why was because they were able to communicate with each other about what had happened and organize themselves to be able to address this issue and to be there to help people on site. So another thing looking at blockchain is how can we have a secure messaging service that is scalable, not based on traditional social media platforms or chats, that will also allow us to, at like a much higher level and maybe with more connection to government sources, better be able to address crisis. And then the last one is about misinformation and verifiable AI. We are living in an age of post-truth, and how can we both save our archives and our information from the past as truth that is accessible to others, as well as having a form of verifiable communication that people in Sweden or in applicable in other situations know that the information that they're reading is something that they can trust.
Thank you, Melanie. So important work. And also, the audience, please write in the chat which one of these three should be explored more during the hackathon. Which one do you think is the most important? Which one do you think has the most potential using blockchain? Melanie mentions migrants moving around cross borders and being able to track them in some way, AI and misinformation, and also the third one, having a secure messaging platform. So please, as we continue, write in the chat what of these three should be focused during the hackathon. Thank you so much, Melanie. It was a great pleasure to listen to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, so now we have heard from many different industries, but the same questions around trust and verification keeps coming up. And now we will move to Arun and UNICEF, and basically the same things. Trust and verification, how can it help? So moving on to you, Morten and Arun.
I'm not able to hear you, Morten. Morten, I'm not able to hear you.
Sorry, I was muting myself. Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
Well, we are doing some blockchain and blockchain development, but we also have some Web2 platforms to build on. Well, welcome, Aaron, and could you just tell us shortly who you are and what UNICEF is, what your mission is, and what kind of activities that you are focusing on?
Yes, thank you for having me here, and of course, thanks to Fatih to have introduced me to this first Blockathon in the first place, and then getting me here on board. So my name is Arun Maharajan. I work for the UNICEF Office of Innovation, which is located in Stockholm in Sweden. So the UNICEF Office of Innovation is a small part of a very large UNICEF, where we explore essentially how to improve everything that UNICEF does, both in terms of internal efficiency as well as in terms of benefiting children and their families, which is of course the broader mandate of UNICEF, which is a UN agency that has been around since the 40s, with the primary mandate of focusing on children, on young mothers and their families across a variety of themes, so that they can not only survive but also thrive. So UNICEF works in a broad area of themes. It's really a big list, but some things that come to mind would be nutrition, education, early childhood development, health, climate change, financial inclusion, so on and so forth. And of course, UNICEF is in almost all the countries in the world. So now coming back to Office of Innovation, there's a part of the Office of Innovation which is called the Solutions Team that explores technology, and then especially frontier technology, which is blockchain and AI, and how it can be deployed for our mission. So I happen to be the blockchain lead, and I'm very glad to be in this role. And one of the big reasons for that is we have been very invested in blockchain, and we have been exploring this technologies for about 10 years now. And we have a history of pilots and of impact. So it's very, very exciting.
Yes, and as I understand, when you're saying that UNICEF have been exploring the blockchain for 10 years, I think that many people don't know that. And what kind of exploration have you done? Because I understand that you have differentiating financial solutions compared to non-financial. But so what you have delivered so far is focused on finance. Is that correct?
Yes, so the blockchain work broadly can be split into financial applications or use cases, and then non-financial ones. We have had a lot of focus on the financial side till now. That is primarily due to the advent of cryptocurrencies and a little bit later stable coins, because one of the big activities that we wanted to get into, being a global agency who moves hundreds of millions of dollars of money all across the world, is to do it in a more efficient, more transparent manner. So for that purpose, since 2019, so that's almost like 8 years, UNICEF has been running the UNICEF Crypto Fund. So that's a mechanism, the first of its mechanism within the UN, where we can receive cryptocurrencies or stable coins, hold them, and make payments directly with cryptocurrencies or stable coins. So there is no conversion to fiat currency or like USD or Swedish krona or anything like that. So that sort of a financial flow needs an entirely different sort of an approach, right? So we have been focusing on that for a long time. And of course, other examples could include how do we leverage Web3 mechanisms in order to innovatively fundraise and also efficiently disperse the funds. So an example of fundraising could be how do we deploy staking. So we have a staking pool running where anybody can throw in some of their ETH. So this is an Ethereum staking pool. But then the yield, they can give us anywhere between 1 to 100% of yield, and it's like a constant passive income in the background, right? And with respect to disbursement, so we look at various aspects. So a specific aspect that comes to mind is we work with a lot of startups. We help them build solutions, open source solutions that may get absorbed within UNICEF. So one example would be a startup who had built a SMS-based crypto wallet with the goal of bringing access to digital assets to those without smartphones or even without internet access, who are actually the kind of people that UNICEF tends to work with. So can they access digital assets? Can they be financially included? And then can we eventually reach them with financial assistance? So so all of this would include financial use cases.
So you have real world use cases running. When it comes
Yes.
to this blockathon, you are exploring some new opportunities, at least you hope so, and that is not on the finance side. So how have you defined the problem statement and what you want to get the developers to solve for you?
Yes. Before I get into that, I have to say I've been listening to the people before me. So many of those problem statements are amazing and super important. So we also had quite a few problem statements, but for this blockathon, I chose to just give one, a very sharp, specific problem statement with the hope of seeing some super interesting approaches from whoever decides to build here. So this would be a non-financial problem statement, and it's a little bit like more exploratory than other stuff that we are doing. That's why I wanted to throw it out to the broader audience. So UNICEF, of course, works in almost all countries, and we conduct a lot of different activities all over the world. Like, for example, we construct toilets in communities. We install solar panels in schools. We train teachers somewhere. We conduct vaccination drives through healthcare workers. There are nutrition interventions and so on. So all of this tends to happen in rural communities, in communities where people are hard to reach, etc. I mean, we also have work on the urban side, but then the vast majority is in those areas where it's very difficult to capture exactly what's going on. We have our methods right now, and it works. But the question is, can we do better, right? So with that in mind, there was an idea of, can we engage citizens of that area to submit proofs to us of these activities happening? Like, for example, if a toilet is being constructed through a UNICEF partner, can we just ask somebody from that area to go and take a photo or two of the toilet being constructed and then send it back to us? But of course, it's not as simple as that, right? So while the proof can be a photo, video, GPS, whatever, it's like very, very important that it is trustable. So that's where blockchain can come in, right? And then also it's very, very important for us that the identity of the citizen, we would prefer to work with youth for this, is also not publicly available. So we want to protect the people who help us, right? So this is where I'm looking at zero knowledge proofs or other privacy preserving technologies, where key attributes of whoever is helping us with collecting data, such as their age or nationality, is known to us, but we don't really need to know exactly who they are. In fact, nobody should get to know, but we need proof that they are indeed a real person, and then they are there on the field doing this. And then another aspect of blockchain would be, each of these proofs should be timestamped in a tamper-resistant way. So can we think of some sort of an encryption or decentralized storage with hashes on chain, so on and so forth. Another aspect where blockchain could be super interesting is attestation. So if like one citizen submits proof of X, can 3 other people living in the area go and say, yes, this is true, or like, no, this is not true? So that would be super interesting as well. And there are some constraints though, because it is a UNICEF use case, and I kind of hopefully I give you a sense of the kind of geographical areas that we work in. So some of the constraints could be internet availability. It may not be very, very steady, or it may be non-existent in some of these areas. So whatever solutions is developed should be able to kind of support that. Maybe an offline mode, and once whoever captures the proof, once they get back to an area with steady internet, then maybe it can be submitted on chain, for example. And then, of course, accessibility is important. What I mean by that is we work with people who may not have the highest level of digital literacy, but so we can assume that they may have the ability to use WhatsApp or Facebook, but nothing too advanced. So how that translates to is the UX. So here approaches such as gas abstracted wallets or modern Web3 UX, maybe even LLM interfaces. So that is very, very important. And then UNICEF is very, very clear on a very strong preference for open source. So while I do understand that builders in a hackathon would want to quickly build something to showcase the solution, so you may end up using proprietary technology, which is fine. But as long as thought is given to a pathway to open sourcing the proprietary components that were used in the solution, that would be greatly appreciated, because eventually whatever we generate, we believe that it has to belong to everybody. So any digital artifact solution which has the UNICEF brand on it is eventually open sourced completely, and made freely available to everybody. So we drive towards that as much as possible.
Yeah, so during the Blockathon, they can use other technologies if they need to, but they will have to have a roadmap towards open source, if I understand what you're saying. And also, of course, other types of implementation possibilities. Thank you very much for so far, Aaron. But I also have another question to you, because you are also a jury member, as also Melanie and the other problem statement representatives are. And how will you do your jury work when you are evaluating solutions? What is good? What is not that good?
So my background is actually mostly been in the private sector, but for the last 5 years I've been at UNICEF, and since then the way I think of technology has slightly changed. So I have been as part of juries before. So I mainly just bring it down to the absolute basics. What are the most fundamental characteristics of a blockchain that is being used? Something like a shared ledger. Everybody talks of very high level stuff, but to break it down to the absolute basics and then ask the question, do we really need blockchain? Does this thing need blockchain? It may sound counterintuitive, but it's a very important question to ask, right? So that's what also generates a lot of hype and a lot of solutions. The famous quote, blockchain is a hammer looking for a nail. So when people ask this question first, then we can become super clear. Then another aspect that I again bring it down to absolute basics is this really helping somebody? What is the case? And to really bring it down to very simple basics, and then to look at how it can benefit humanity. But of course, I understand from a business perspective, it has to make a profit and all that. So I totally get that as well. But I also bring the other angle and yeah, the way I look at digital and also my open source bias that will come in as well.
Thank you very much, Aaron, for sharing those thoughts with us, and we are looking forward to see what the builders are able to do with your problem statement. Thank you very much. And we will also then get Fatih back on the stage. You don't hear me?
I can't unfortunately hear you right now. Let me just quickly jump out and jump in again. Maybe then.
Okay, maybe I then also will add Zarina to the stage. Can you hear me?
Yes, Morten, I can hear you. Such an interesting day we have had today, listening from so many different organizations, but the same track keeps coming up: trust, verification, ownership, privacy. And I mean, it is real challenges that these organizations are facing today. And as going back to Fatih in the beginning, blockchain is so much more than finance. It can help in so many problems and use cases. So amazing.
Can you hear me now then, Fatih?
Zarina, if Morten is talking with me, I unfortunately can't hear him. I jumped out. I can hear you, but not him, unfortunately. I have no idea what happened.
Okay, so maybe Zarina will have to ask you the questions then. But what we will just summarize right now is what can people now expect going forward? How can they prepare? Can people be part of this hackathon? Is the deadline there already? And how can people that are not developers or no coders or whatever, can they be a part of it? I thought that maybe you could ask that question, Zarina, but
of course, I want to actually start with two super important questions, Fatih, because if you have listened to this program now and you are interested, if you are a developer, is it too late to enter the first Blockathon?
I 100% not. It's basically exactly the time to come in and apply for. I think today's event is I mean, the ones that were before that, they have the early access, obviously, but the ones that are coming from now on, it's the perfect timing. The more, the better. Today we listened to all the problem statements, and I also believe the listeners already have ideas. The builders that joined us in this call have already ideas. So we're looking forward to host as much people as possible.
Amazing. That's really good news. And as you mentioned, now we have started to dig into the challenges. So if the developers, I really recommend you to also watch the coming sessions to get more information before the hackathon. And also if someone is really interested in this, but not a developer, how can they still participate and be a part of this hackathon and the Tech Week?
Exactly. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we are trying to really keep the threshold very low because the problems or sometimes even ideas come from other industries, not just from the builder side. So we have technologies in the background that can help a lot with building solutions, and we are also amazing mentors that will join us. So I would definitely say, even if you're not a builder and you have an idea, we have two different possibilities to join, just as a participant who wants to basically work on the problem statements you heard today. And then the second one is as a venture. If you already have an idea or a problem in your industry that you would like to solve, you can also share with us your pitch deck. We will go through that, evaluate it, and if that is interesting, we will also support you during the 2 days of Blockathon, the same way how we are supporting all the problem statements.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you, Fatih and Morten, to talk a little bit more about how this week is going to develop. If you can hear each other, otherwise I will jump up again.
Awesome. Perfect. Let's try it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Zarina.
So now then we are wrapping up this event, Zarina. So this is for you and me at the moment, and we can listen to each other, as I understand.
Perfectly.
Yes, and we are on the screen right now. We are showing all the partners of this first Blockathon that have joined into this initiative in Stockholm. And there are some core partners that also are technology partners. And of course, one of them is FirstBlock, which then Fatih represent, but also Sulis, Neuro, and Blockcell. And there are a lot of different other partners that have joined into this as ecosystem partners. Then we are then also moving into possibly or plan that we will have 2 more events. And as I understand, you can also hear me now, Fatih. Is that true? Can you hear me?
Yes, Morten, now I can hear you now. Technically, been solved here.
Maybe a question for you. How important are these partners, both when it comes to preparation, but also during the Blockathon?
Morten, actually very, very important because as you can see, the 4 logos on the top, it's obviously my company who is doing the organization, but also Nero and Sulis coming in with their technical possibilities and giving the infrastructure for the Blockathon, and also giving the technical support during the Blockathon is very important. I will start with Sulis. It's basically the platform that the applications are happening through. We have AI supported platform that can help you with from the idea to the execution or to the MVP in 2 days, where Nero tech stack comes in if somebody wants to use that. Or we also have some other partners that will be announced soon, where we have the access to a lot of different blockchains that can be used. And all of that from the technical side with Sulis, Blockcell is supporting us on that one. And you have to imagine it's a lot of work, and all of this that is being done voluntarily, completely from their own sides, because they see the same value in that event, and they see the same need as we do, that we need that type of events to show costs, that there is more than just the financial applications that we can use on chain.
And going forward, when it comes to the week, how is the week in what is happening on the Monday, Tuesday, and what is happening later in the week, and how is the week being finalized on the Friday?
Exactly. So as I said before, the 2 days Blockathon is the beginning. We will be at Netlight offices and doing the Blockathon till the Tuesday, probably, depending on some of the details that we are not yet 100% set on, but probably till 6, 7 in the evening, and then all the projects are being forwarded to the jury, so they can choose the top 3 out of that. On Thursday, the top 3 will be presenting their solutions on the stage at Kungsträdgården, where the jury will be also there present and voting for their favorites. Something that I would like to voice out, because we have problem statements and jury members, some of them crossing over from problem statements to the jury. The ones that obviously, let's take UNICEF, the ones that are creating something for UNICEF will not be able to vote for them, obviously, because that we will have a conflict of interest. But it's very important to have these type of views as well, not just people who understand the blockchain, but also they understand the industry behind and see the use, as Arun pointed out very well, if somebody needs it even, right? So, and the jury members were very important for us to include people who can see if it's even needed in the market, in the industry, right? So that was very important to us. And then on Friday, as Hani was already there and talked already about that, we will have the AI Summit, where we are bringing academic views and the market together to talk about some important things when it comes to blockchain and AI. And the ending would be basically with the award ceremony. The one that has the best solution will be chosen between Thursday and Friday, will be voted from jury members, and then we will have the award ceremony on Friday, and hope to end the Blockathon or the Nordic Tech Week with a big party. You can find the party, by the way, on the Nordic Tech Week calendar. So please register and join us.
Yes, and when it comes to follow-up, you can apply on the website that FirstBlockathon has up. They also have a new social media accounts on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And we in Kaupr, we are also a media partner with FirstBlock and the Blockathon, so that we are then sharing content continuously, both in a newsletter and a microsite, which is called On-Chain Build. And we have also opened up a channel, which is called Blockathon Stockholm, within a community. So there you can ask questions, you can also get feedback, and we can open discussions. And this stream will also be available as a recording, both on YouTube and on the Kaupr website. And we will also share some clips when we are ready to do that. So thank you very much for all the viewers, and thank you very much for you, Fatih, to be a part of this event as well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for giving the platform so we can talk about it and spread our message and why it's important. Thank you so much, Morten, Zarina, for moderating it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. Please go ahead, Morten.
Yeah.